Angle a little bit. There you go. Nice.
Police officers spending time in training with the dog expert and a variety of dogs. In just one session, the officers develop a keen sense of how to read a dog and a new understanding of how their own body language has a significant impact on the dog's behavior.
You know, one of the reasons people love dogs so much is they don't lie. What you see is what you get. If they are frightened, their ears are back, their body's small, their tail is tucked, you can tell. Same thing if they're going to be aggressive. They're going forward in body tension and movement, direct hard eye contact, forward ears. You can pick that energy up. But what they're telling you is true. And they're telling you, I'm uncomfortable, I'm defending my territory. That means you need to give them a message back. And that's what this video is about, is teaching them how to communicate to a dog, reading what the dog is telling them, and then being able to communicate back to neutralize the situation.
See his mouth is open? Okay. Take a step slightly forward, watch what happens with the mouth. There you go. Okay, ignore him, relax, mouth open. Beautiful.
Training police officers to read a dog's body language is not common. Cost and time pressures make it difficult for many agencies to take large numbers of officers off the street for small group training. But in this segment, we'll show you what these officers experience and the lessons they learn. Hello, I'm Terry Hillard, retired superintendent of the Chicago Police Department and co-founder of Hillard Heinz Security. The goal of these lessons of this series is to give officers tangible, tactical options in their encounters with dogs.
Deep breath through the nose. Go get him.
You know, we had 4 police officers, 2 SWAT team officers, and 2 on-the-street guys. All 4 unanimously looked at this and said, yes, we can use this. This makes sense, and jumped into it.
Hey, puppy. Hey. Hey, boy. Whoa, that's a good boy. Come on, puppy. Woo. That'll get your blood flowing.
When he starts showing those teeth, that's a reaction. So you move from this to this. You can talk to him nice and relaxed, but your goal is after he closes his mouth and snarls at you, is for you to be able to have that open mouth.
Okay.
Okay? So do you understand the little dance that you're doing here?
Mm-hmm.
If you walk in, do not look at them directly in the eye. Turn a little bit sideways so you're not square on, where that's much more intimidating.
All right, you went from this to kind of this. I need this. Yep. There. You see his mouth open? And he's like, okay, cool. 2 guys are standing here, not a threat. Okay. Start moving in again a little bit. Hold. What didn't happen?
No teeth. No tension.
What about his mouth? Is that nice and open? Yeah. Okay. So that mouth didn't close. He wasn't going, okay, what's going to go on here? All right. Really well done, which means you're spot on with your body language.
Upon approach, when you approach a dog, a lot of times the traditional things police officers might do is to snap fingers, clap hands, things of that nature, are really not the things to be doing. You should approach like you would approach a person, you know, calmly, you know, using your voice.
Let's take this where the dog is relaxed. We have basically a standoff. He's like, I'm not thinking dirty thoughts, you're not thinking dirty thoughts. Turn full and take a step and see what happens. Turn full at him, take a step. Oh, nice call. Very nice, guys.
Also learned you can pick up on the dog's visual cues. He kind of gives you a hint whether or not you should close the space between the dog and yourself or hold your ground.
The goal is to get the dog where it stays relaxed. So I'd like you to arc a little bit more.
Hey, puppy. Hey, puppy.
Good. Okay, what you can do here. So I'm standing here with him. He's starting to snarl. I still want to get a little bit closer. Hey, guy. How are you, bud? Hi. What a good boy. Good. Good.
Approach your dog cautiously, but walk naturally, you know, maybe use a calm voice, and don't, like I said, don't go directly at the dog. You want to kind of go in a soft arc.
So it's important for you to be relaxed, to breathe, and to engage the dog in a friendly manner so the dog can be relaxed. And that way it could trust you, and then it could be more approachable.
Kind of opposite of what humans are. Sometimes a fighter for a human would blade itself and get in a fighting posture. That actually is opposite with dogs. So if you have a full frontal view, a dog looking at you, they may perceive that as more aggressive. And then when you blade towards a dog, they see that as less threatening.
And as soon as the dog picks up on those visual cues, the thing that surprised me is how quickly they de-escalate their temperament. They calm down. It's like throwing a light switch. They go from very up high and aggressive to very passive and disengaged almost.
I think the great thing, which you saw immediately, was how quickly the officers responded to the facts that they were being presented. So that really reinforces that there's a real genuine need, that there's some assumptions that are made about the right way to approach a dog. And then when you give them some other tools, the officers themselves will be going, oh, wow, this works, and so that's what they're always looking for. They're looking for tools that work.
We worked with a variety of dogs today, and a lot of the dogs that we saw would be considered pit bulls. Do you think that the pit bull type of dog is considered more dangerous than others?
I think that's a perception, yes. And then taking a look at the dogs we work with today, the friendliest dog was the dog that appeared most like a pit bull. Looked strong, aggressive, and yet it was the friendliest dog that we dealt with today. And the dog that was probably the most aggressive was nothing like a pit bull, just a traditional family pet. Upon first sight, that'd be your first impression. Just like people, you never know what you're going to be walking into, and every dog that you deal with is going to be different, so you can't make any assumptions based on the breed. You just have to look at the observations of the dog and go from there. Try to treat every dog in the same manner, and then react to the actions that you get from the dog, and his behavior will determine your actions, and regardless of the breed.
Can people learn from this video? Can a police officer look at this video and then walk away with a different aspect, attitude, and set of tools? Absolutely.
The biggest takeaway for me was the fact that how quickly the officers, similar to the dogs, could be trained to react differently. I mean, so that was really, and they all alluded to it. They said, well, if I do this, the dog does that. So the 4 officers really in a quick amount of time could pick up on those different cues, and then they could respond in how they were approaching the situation. So that told me that, okay, I'm not saying we have all the answers, but I'm saying we're going in the right direction, and that was very rewarding.
In this video, we examined several aspects of police encounters with dogs. To recap, assess a dog's body language. Dogs will usually communicate intention through their body language. And communicate by adopting non-threatening body language, blading your body. Use indirect eye contact, and use a calm voice.
Again, the goal is not to make every police officer an animal expert. The goal is to give you information that will help you make distinctions, to provide you with options, to give you strategies that will make you safer and more effective in your encounters with dogs. Thanks for watching, and please stay safe